Kim here with Little Biz Resources, and today we're going to expand a little bit more on our keyword research and look at a content creation strategy, or they have keyword strategy builder here in SEMRush. And I really struggled with this video because I've probably recorded it 4 or 5 times trying to make this look super positive, and I actually think they have a lot of work to do on this. So it's a great tool to include if you want if you want SEMrush for other things, but I don't know that I would get it just for this. And here's why. So we in the last one we did roofing as one of our keyword strategies, and I'll link to that last video if you want to see. So roofing as a general concept, right, has a lot of content in it. And if you're looking on here, you can see they have roof cost, and then they have this one, good roofing materials keywords. There are 22 keywords that they have in here. And they say that this is a pillar page. Now, you can click on here and say how it works, but I find this very confusing. However, what looks familiar about this is I've been taught this concept before, and it's still a concept that they teach these days. So I'm going to pull up Canva here where I was working on one to show you nurse ornaments, but we're not going to do that one because I'll show you why. But so if you have a core keyword, let's just delete this one out. So if you have a core keyword and let's say you have 5 other pages that are related. So like in this case, if we wanted to do roofing, roofing is our website, but they said roofing materials, right? So you would have roofing materials as your hub or your top level, depending on how your website works. So let's say that if I'm using WordPress, and I'll show you guys how to do all of this in later videos. And we're going to have a whole series of this from start to finish. So I'm just showing you how to do the research right now. So let's say that if I have roofing materials that they show, then I can have like maybe there's a different material, like I have an overview of each of the materials here, and I want this page to rank. I don't know why you wouldn't just have all the materials on that page. And so there are pros and cons to how you do each one, but you don't necessarily have to have different pages or different posts for each content. You can interlink within that particular page, and Google finds that just as effective for interlinking. Some people say one way, some people say another, and both sides have plenty that rank to prove that they're both right. So I really think it comes down to the quality of content. So this one, they have good roofing materials, and so they say to do good roofing materials, and it has an average keyword difficulty of 32. I'm actually going to click on this, and it's going to bring me down to these other words. This is where I'm frustrated the most with this content strategy, with theirs, and that is they have a ton of keywords in here that are going to be very difficult to rank for. Now, the topic is difficult to rank for, and if you make this more local, or if you have it so that you have local traffic going, then you can probably make the best out of even more difficult. This one is difficult keywords, right? But they do have some easier ones in here. What are the top 5 roofing materials? People actually are searching that particular term, and they say here 140 on average per month. I didn't talk about this in the last one, but just because this one says 30 and this one says 140 doesn't mean that this one gets 30 and this one gets 140. It generally means that this one gets less than this one, right? I mean, and it's not even necessarily the right ratio. It's just a general guide to show you that types of roofing materials, which is 28, that's interesting, is 1.9 thousand. But you also see what's interesting, this one says commercial intent for types of roofing materials. That's probably more like people who are shopping at Home Depot then, rather than a roofing company. So what do you include in your website and what do you not? That's the thing, is this isn't telling you that, right? There's no way to actually put in a true strategy into SEMrush and find out. So instead, you just type in the content or the topic, and then you look through the words and say, okay, what do I want to include and what do I not? And then they just follow this general, they have good roofing materials. This is a good example. I have done several other ones where it would say something, let's say it said good roofing materials, and then it would say how to clean, or not even, it would be like asphalt, how to refurbish your asphalt driveway. Not even related at all. And so I don't understand how that it links some of the information. And so it's really hard for me to get excited about it, because to me, I'm like, all you're doing is giving me some general ideas, and then I have to fix it. I can do the general ideas on my own with the keywords. So, and maybe that's just because I've done this before and other people haven't. I don't know. But I would say this, I like this theory where you have one core, one hub article and that you want, that's the one that you really want people to go to. That's where you get your email opt-ins, etc. Now, I'm not saying you don't put email opt-ins on other pages. I'm just saying that the theory is that if you're going to have, 10 pages, one of them may be able to rank really well from those 10 pages, and you have the other 9 that are supporting that. And then you would do that for each different, like, let's say you have 5 core keywords on your site that you're trying to rank for, you would have content supporting each one of those. You should be able to rank for more than those 5 keywords if you're doing the keyword research and you're identifying other easy to rank keywords, right? So it's just a matter of what works best. That you really have to think about your audience and how that audience is going to view the website. So I think this is the core concept that they're trying to go for. And this is an interesting method for doing this, and they do have an entire content section, which we'll look at. But this is just, it's not a whole lot of planning. It just looks like it's just grouping stuff together randomly. And it's probably good if you have SEMRush, it's a good tool to use and try out. But you can do the same type of thing with something like Answer Socrates or Answer the Public, which, by the way, this is for a specific keyword that's really low. I can't do another search because even though it says 5, I somehow max out at 1. So that's what I hate, those tools. So anyway, so you see this type of thing still comes up under these as well, which you can't see on this one because I used the Pinterest Verified Merchant Program. And the reason why I did that was because of this. SEMrush doesn't even have anything, like no details whatsoever, no information, no recommendations, no nothing. Now, I have like an entire page of content that I've done just from thinking about it. They're not necessarily terms that show up. In fact, I've searched them in SEMrush and SEMrush says there's 0 search volume, but I have hundreds of views on YouTube videos because of them. That's how you know that it doesn't matter what the number says. If you know that there's a problem, then you know that you can offer a solution. You should make the content for it. You just never know what's going to come about with it. Let's look at Celtic ornaments. That one was one that is a 0 keyword difficulty, which again surprises me because I've seen the results on the pages: Amazon, Etsy, Walmart, Zazzle. I mean, these sites are going to crush me every time. So how am I going to rank in the top 10 when the top 10 are all big names like that? Without trying, I don't know. So this one, they have like Celtic knot, Celtic jewelry meeting, Druid symbols for protection. I mean, sure, they're sort of linked. So I'm going to click on this and we're going to look at some of these other ones. This isn't the one that I was having issues with. It was nursing one. That was the big one, right? So I said nursing one. Where's that one? Nursing ornaments. And they have nurse Christmas tree ornaments, which is fine, and healthcare ornaments. They just have one. Then they have surgery Christmas ornament. Sounds painful. And then TARDIS Christmas ornament. That's still kind of similar for the most part. Nurse items. That's not nurse stuff, nurse things. That's too general. Nursing student ornament. That one is related, is similar. Physician assistant ornament. Sure. Christmas nurse skirts. Nope. Now we're deviating from it. Nurses week ideas. Great content idea. I mean, 4.6 thousand total volume. And I believe that's monthly. And then average keyword difficulty of 21. So still within reach. And this is a true content one. So it's not like you're going to be dealing necessarily with the Walmarts. They may do an article and it may rank, but I don't know if you necessarily have to deal with them. Nurse of the week, also not related. You can do appreciation and everything. So I started seeing, and this isn't even the worst one. This one's actually not too bad. Gifts for nurses. So these are not too bad. Sweatshirts for nurses deviates way off of ornaments. And they don't even have any other subtopics for that one. Sorry, I'm trying to move this. And then these are somewhat related. And I can't remember which one on here. Maybe it was disaster stuff or something. But I put it in and it was not even close to, like, they had a word and then they had 5 different subtopics that were not even close to the same topic. And it baffles me. I'm like, how can that even group? So you have to pay attention. You can't just do it blindly. And then I'm like, well, if I'm going to have to fix all this, I might as well just do it myself. And I can do that from the keyword research that I did. So that's where I said I'm a little torn. And again, the free tools that are out there are very limited. So if you're trying to do massive research, then this is probably your better option is SEMRush, especially if you already have it. But that's the general content is that, and the content strategy, I should say, is that you do the one hub page and then you do additional pages or articles that link back to it and interlink with each other. It's a strategy, and we'll talk more about that. I'm going to dive into a couple of these topics in later videos when we go to build that. I'm going to probably make up my own strategy because I have the Pinterest Verified Merchant program. I already have videos that are ranking for that. So I might as well build on that and try to build, a chunk on my site, like a category on my site with that. I use WordPress. I'm going to eventually do, and I think for the Celtic ornaments one, I'm going to do a free WordPress blog on that one. And the reason why is because I actually have Little Biz Resources auto posts over to it, which is a strategy we'll talk about later on. But it auto posts to the free version of WordPress. And what that means is that even though it's on a subdomain, people see it. Like I have followers on it, right? So I haven't posted anything hardly at all on my website. So unfortunately, those poor followers haven't seen anything, but I'm sure they're following other things. So I have that competition still. But the idea is that you can get in front of people for free using that, right? And when we automate it, that makes it so that it's free traffic. So anyway, that is it for this time. I wish I had a better way to show you the strategy, but I have not yet to find a tool that really helps you build content well. There is, like I said, they do have a content marketing one, which we're going to dive into that one in the next video, which is a little bit more, I think, like Answer Socrates in this one from what I saw, but we'll take a look at it and explore it. This was just to kind of get you started on the keyword strategy builder, which is still a content strategy builder as well. You're going to start with the keywords and then you're going to go to the content and say, okay, well, how do we take this keyword, nurse ornaments, and turn it into content? 10 best nurse ornaments for hospital nurses, right? Something like that. And that's where you take your keyword and you turn it into actual content. So we'll look at that in the next video. And if you have questions in the meantime, let me know.